I went to Berklee College of Music when I was 18.
Wow.
I went for a couple of semesters, and then I realized that I was not interested in playing cocktail jazz.
Just the cocktail part.
Yeah, I was more thinking like Keith Richard. And so I thought, because someone was sending me there, I could not use his money. A guy named Hasse Hester, who was a designer of furnishings and stuff in LA, and my mother had saved him, had pulled him out of a burning car.
Wow.
An accident which happened right in front of our house. And
wow,
there was up on Franklin Avenue in Hollywood, there was a street of Franklin that went up, and it had a rise in it. And this lady came in, and she was drunk and drove right over the front of the VW they were in. And she turned over on her back.
On the car's top?
And then the BMW, the VW caught on fire.
Oh, wow. That this furniture designer gentleman was in.
Yes.
Wow, and he survived her car drove over the top of his?
Yeah.
And he survived that?
Yeah, it went up and over.
Oh, okay. So she probably didn't take the top of the car off.
No.
It just acted as a ramp and flipped her?
Yeah. And so he was with his companion, and I watched the companion burn to death.
Oh my God.
Or like right in front of me.
Oh my God.
And my mother went in and got Hasse out, and she stepped into the fire to do it.
Holy crap. Is she injured?
No.
Wow.
But she was an indomitable force.
Wow.
And she got him out.
Wow.
And he felt indebted to her. He was from Kentucky or somewhere. And he felt indebted to her, and they became wonderful friends. I picked up one of my favorite books ever, The Godfather by Mario Puzo. And the thing is, you read somebody like that and you get entrained in their thought process. And as soon as I finished the last word, I picked up a pen and started writing in my own voice that had a little touch of that, but just enough to give me a push. And that book came right out, and all the rest of them too, and that has been my voice. It was finding my own voice. And it's not a dark and stormy night, and I didn't know how to, and I wrote it in the third person, and that didn't work, and I tried in the second person, and that didn't work. And finally, I just read that book, which is, I'll read that probably 2 more times in my life, because it's that wonderful and great. And it kicked open the door for me, and from that moment, I could write. And I had tried, earlier on, and...
Well, your dad was a writer too, right?
Yeah. My father was an Academy Award-winning writer and director, and he was the first... In those days, people didn't write and direct the same thing. He was the first one. And he had an amazing career and made just tremendous movies in the 40s in a very short time. And
Work with people like Barbara Stanwyck and people like that.
yeah, all the great players were in his movies. And there was a group of people, the secondary parts, who he knew from the theater in New York. And he brought them around on all the movies. And they became kind of his go-to crew.
So he had the clout to be able to have the studio hire those people, or it was his decision to make, or
It was his until he wanted to bring this girl in and for a movie, and the higher ups at Paramount said you can't have her. And he goes, why not? That's who I want. And they go, no. And they were intractable on the issue. So he goes, a real man cannot stand up to this. And he left.
wow.
And he went and started a company with Howard Hughes.
Whoa, yet another story I didn't hear.
And they made one movie and it was awful. He did not realize what Paramount had given him. And, they gave him the great musicians, the great technicians, the great everything. And he took that for granted after a while, like you do when you get powerful. Like Tucker on Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to think you're absolutely indispensable. And then he had to recreate a whole company. And then he put his girlfriend in as the lead, his current girlfriend. And she was no actress. And the movie was episodically interesting, but not a beautiful story all the way through like his usual ones. It just wasn't.
So this is after Paramount.
I mean, he had a restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard, on Sunset Boulevard, The Players, which was right next to, right across that little street from the Chateau Marmont. It was right there. It's now like Pink Taco or something. I don't know what it is. It was a 3-layer restaurant. There was bottom of the coffee shop. The middle was light dining, and the top was New York top dining.
Wow.
Silver service,
That would have been old.
the whole thing. But he hired too many relatives, and the place had too many doors. And he liked to wander through the restaurant and comp the meals for his friends.
Yeah,
There was a guy who he hired to do the books, and this guy had shown him how to set lyrics to music.
really?
And for that, he brought him in as the bookkeeper.
Okay.
And this guy never paid a penny of taxes.
All right.
And so all of a sudden, my father owed a ton
Oh no.
of money.
And he didn't even know about all that until the bill came.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he was headed down. He made a film in France that I don't remember about. He told my mother, I can borrow a pen from a car going this way and paper from a car going that way, and I can write more. Though his luck had changed. That surety that he had was crushed, and then he was a drinker.
No.
And he smoked 5 packs of Chesterfields every day. I mean, he lived with a cigarette. My grandmother was Mary Desty, and she was just an amazing woman who did things her way. She lived with Alistair Crowley for a bit. My father was 11 at the time, and his pronouncement on Crowley was that he was an asshole.
So who was Mary Desty's best pal?
Oh, Isadora Duncan, the dancer.
No kidding.
And she had given, Isadora was driving away from somewhere, and she did this interpretive dance that made her very famous all over the world. And my grandmother gave her a scarf, and she took off in her car, and the scarf was around her neck, and the other got caught in the spokes, and it broke her neck.
And did she survive?
No.
The sheiks and shake, make no mistake. They know how to bake your cake, bake it all night long. The sheiks and shake.
I tried to write music and lyrics at the same time, but an old songwriter in LA told me, you're going to be better at one than the other. And as soon as you choose which that is, the luckier you're going to be. And I thought, well, he's full of shit. I can do both. And then I started writing for Gene.
Skipped a couple of years in between there. But
Gene does, he's a magnificent singer. I felt I was bringing him stuff worthy of really getting into and singing. And he puts the words just like I would if I could sing. So we don't have a bunch of, there's no bullshit. I just send him the lyric
usually
and wait for the result.
He usually likes the first version. On a few tunes, I had to do 2 or 3 versions until we settled on something that we both liked. But in every case, every time that I had to do 2 or 3 versions, the last version was way stronger, way better. So, well, it's been fun, and we've done more than 40 tunes in less than a year. He just creates a lyric and sends it to me.
Yeah, that's like Elton and Bernie used to work.
But they did it in a whole nother country.
Yeah, L.A. Yeah, I see little phrases that catch my attention when I'm watching the boob tube or reading news on the New Yorker or the New York Times. They can say things and I go, oh, that is a title.
Like Laid to Ash.
Yeah.
The title was inspired by the footage of the fires in Hawaii.
So we can either write for other people.
It'd be cool if existing national acts could pick them up and do something with them.
The yard was big and clean, stretched from here to there. Gentle summer splendor, butterflies in the air. Me and my sweet baby lived outside of time. We finally had to pay the freight for every dance of rhyme. There's a blue house stands at the edge of town. It was a fine house, mighty hard to see that now.
Well, I'm making no long-term plans. I want him to go ahead. So, and, our age comes into it, but it certainly doesn't sound like old men on those songs. It sounds beautiful.
But old men aren't beautiful?
Huh?
Old men can't be beautiful?
Oh, they can. Are you familiar with the Jerzy Kosinski book, Pinball? That is one about a rock star who nobody knows who he is. He just releases his music and it goes out there and people buy it and he doesn't play anywhere. And that's what I think he should do. You pinball it.
Pinball it. Yeah.
There's no right way, there's no wrong way. There's just this way. Fate come to you. There ain't no clever plan, no secrets you've got to understand. Got to walk the shifted sands. Fate come for you. I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. I'm ready for some blues tonight. Squeezing the night, there's a bag on a crime. If heaven's up there on the right. Tomorrow never come. Tomorrow's on the run. Tomorrow let the drum move your feet. There's a place, a lovely space. Disappear without a trace. Move your feet. I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. I'm ready for some blues tonight. Squeezing the night, there's a bag on a crime. If heaven's up there on the right. I'm here for a good time. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. There's just this way. Fate come to you. There ain't no clever plan, no secrets you got to understand. Got to walk the shifting sand. Fate come for you.